thatmovieguyUK.
One film from 2017 that didn't get a UK theatrical release until this year is Ruben Östlund's The Square. The Palme d'Or winning film has finally come to UK cinemas and on Curzon home cinema, so you can watch it at home also. So to me, Ruben Östlund's a very interesting filmmaker. If you haven't seen Force Majeure, I feel like it's a very funny, dark, satirical comedy. And I understand Östlund, and I actually really like his approach on his mindset and ideals on society at the moment, and I felt that after watching The Square, I understand why it won the Palme d'Or, and I completely and utterly understand why this film is probably one of the most influential films I will probably watch in the next couple of years. A brief synopsis for The Square: it follows the life of the chief art curator at a prestigious Stockholm museum, and he is tackling professional and life crises while a new exhibition called The Square comes to town. For me, this film is very good, it's very interesting. For 2 hours and a half, I really like the way that Östlund just stretches out the story. And it's not in a bad way. I felt like the narrative actually keeps it interesting because you are always continuously thinking what the hell is going to happen next. And it's a massive punch in the gut to the art community, especially that a lot of artists really go to very controversial ways to get exposure these days, and the more extreme you go, the more attention you get. But also this really inclines into society even, because there's one scene that involves a young girl, a kitten, and an explosion, and it involves YouTube. Well, obviously we have had these controversies just like with Logan Paul recently, and it's interesting how we as a society do go to major extremes to get our voice and get our faces out there, because at the end of the day we're all narcissistic, I guess. There, I said it. And that's what I really truly enjoyed about it. It wasn't really a massive take on just artists in general, it's a take on people and humanity. Throughout this film you see Christian dealing with homeless people and giving them money, giving them food, and he just has this interesting conflict of interest in his life as well, and that's what I generally thought that made The Square a bit different. There's this one scene in particular where he's in the shopping mall and a homeless man is on his knees begging for money, and everyone else is like above him, and people are on their cell phones drinking coffee, and just basically mass corporate shopping is happening. And I think it's a really great depiction of 21st century life, just like Loveless was. It just shows humanity for what it is at the moment. We live in a mass consumerist world, and it involves spending a lot of money and just ignoring the issues that exist in this world right now. And that's what Östlund really gives out in this film. One scene in particular I will talk about is the scene, I don't know if you've seen any of the trailers, but there is a man who is acting like an ape, and he's in a dinner scene. That scene was tense as hell, and you just really didn't know where it was going to go. But my god, I have never been at the edge of my seat like that for a while, not since San Andreas with Dwayne Johnson. As for the cast, really, Claes Bang is the standout performance here. Obviously he is our main protagonist playing Christian, but he just really goes through the motions throughout this film. You feel, even though he is a snob, really, I felt a great connection with him, because I always go through a conflict of a crisis. You always go through inner crises within yourself, and it was a very interesting journey. It felt very natural for him, and I feel like this performance has been very undermined through all of award season, really, but it's one of the best performances I've seen in a long time. As for the rest of the cast, really, Elizabeth Moss has a very interesting scene with Bang in the bedroom involving condoms, and again, this is a very interesting conversation they have about men, women, and casual sex. It was very funny, but at the same time it was very true and very real. Very good scene between them. But as for Elizabeth Moss, she wasn't really in the film as much as the international trailers portray it out, but she does a good job as always. I would like to talk more about this film, but I don't want to spoil it for you guys, and there are a lot of interesting scenes in this film that include life situations that you just don't know how you'd handle, or we treat things a bit too PC, which I think that we are a very PC world right now. And I think we've gone too far in some ways, and I think that is another point that Ostland is really trying to push over. It is available in UK cinemas now, and also on Curzon On Demand, so you can go on Curzon On Demand. The website is below with a link if you want to go check it out. And have you guys seen The Square already? Please let me know. I like to talk to you guys about movies. Let's open a discussion. And obviously my written review will be on my website, www.thatmovieguyUK, and you can follow me on all the social medias below. So all I can say now, guys, obviously is diolch, danke, obrigado, merci beaucoup, arigato, gracias, grazie mia, diolch, 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 and I'll see you at the next review. Go watch The Square now, and you were never really here again if you haven't seen it yet. Please do. Bye. Okay, bye.